Hey math fans, test 12 lesson 3, grab your swords. The last two lessons have been a bit long, but this one's mostly review. So we're going to talk about how to find missing dimensions, identify irregular triangles, and use a protractor to draw reflex angles. Let's start with finding missing dimensions. So if we know the volume of a shape and we know the formula for volume, we can find missing dimensions. Dimension just means length, width, height, whatever. So here's an example. A rectangular prism has a length of 6 centimeters and a width of 4 centimeters. The volume is 72 centimeters cubed. I want to know what is the height of the rectangular prism. So I've drawn a picture here. Volume is 72 centimeters cubed. Length is 6 centimeters. Width is 4 centimeters. I do not know what is going to be the height. I do, however, know that the formula for volume is length times width times height. So let's sub in some information there and see what I get. So I know that the volume is 72. I know that the length is 6. I know that the width is 4, but I don't know height. So if I do a little bit more math, I get 72 equals 6 times 4 is 24 times height. Now I'm just doing fact families. So you have to remember, if 24 times h equals 72, then 72 divided by 24 equals h. And if I use my calculator to do that, I will find out that h equals 3. So how tall is this prism? It is 3 centimeters tall. So here's one for you to try. This rectangular prism has a volume of 84 centimeters cubed. It is 3 centimeters high and 4 centimeters wide. What is its length? So pause the video here, try that, and when you come back I'll have the answer for you. So if my volume is 84, my height is 3, and my width is 4, and my length is an unknown, I can write that as volume is length times width times height. So volume is length times width times height. Volume is 84. Length I don't know, times width is 4, times height is 3. I can simplify that by doing those. So 84 equals length times 12. And again, my fact families, if L times 12 equals 84, then 84 divided by 12 equals L. And so once again, I'll just pull out my handy calculator to find out that 84 divided by 12 is 7. So 7 centimeters is the length. That's all there is to it. It's the same formula, you're just plugging the information into different places. It is absolutely essential that you understand fact families. So you must understand that if 3 times 4 equals 12, 12 divided by 4 equals 3, and 12 divided by 3 equals 4. And of course the other one there would be 4 times 3 equals 12. You do need to have an understanding of this. So if this is confusing to you in any way, you must talk to me about it, okay? In the meantime, we'll move on to identifying irregular triangles. And I'm going to go through this really fast because I have a triangle study jam for you to do after. Regular shapes are shapes where all sides and angles are the same. Irregular shapes have different sides and angles. So an equilateral triangle is an example of a regular triangle. All the sides and angles are equal. An isosceles triangle is irregular and is sometimes called semi-regular because it does have 2 equal sides and angles, but one is different. So we would, for grade 6, count this as an irregular triangle, but it is sometimes called semi-regular. And a scalene triangle is definitely irregular because all of the sides and angles are totally different. That's all I'm going to say about that because, like I said, I have a study jam for you. Meantime, let's talk about using a protractor to draw reflex angles. So remember, if you want to measure an angle with a protractor, you line up one ray or line with the 0 and you see where the other line hits. So in this angle here, I've got this line on the 0 and this line going to the 50, so this is a 50-degree angle. So if a question asked me to draw an angle of 110 degrees, I would put one line on the 0, and I would line my other line up to the 110. And of course the vertex or center of the angle would be in this circle. So there I've just drawn an angle of 110 degrees, one on 0, one on 110. This is 110 degrees. Now when it gets tricky is if you want to draw a reflex angle. A reflex angle is greater than 180 degrees, but your protractor only goes up to 180 degrees. So to draw a reflex angle, what you have to do is realize that a circle is 360 degrees. And you can see that because if I put two protractors together, it makes a perfect circle. Each protractor is 180 degrees. 180 plus 180 is 360. So a perfect circle would be 360 degrees. To draw a reflex angle, I'm going to subtract that angle from 360 to find out what the other side will look like. And I'll show you what that means. So for example, I'm being asked here to draw an angle of 215 degrees. My protractor only goes up to 180. So that's going to be a problem for me. Now I know that when I'm done my angle, it's going to look something like this, and the angle will be this part. Now look what happens though. If I finish drawing the angle, it makes a complete circle, which means that that whole circle will have a value of 360 degrees. I don't know what the heck that is. There you go, 360 degrees. So to get that red part, I'm going to find out what that blue part would be. If the red is 215, the blue is going to be 360 take away 215. So if I do that on my calculator, it turns out to be 145 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a 145 degree angle. So I'm going to put one on 0, and my other one will go to 145. So that's an angle of 145 degrees, but I don't want 145, I want 215. To get that, all I have to do is circle this part of the angle. Okay, so I know that this part in the middle is going to be 145 because I just measured it to be. And that means that whatever's left on the outside there, completing the circle, will add up to 360. So that will be 215 because 215 and 145 add up to 360. So here's your review, and like I said, I do have a study jam. So pause on this page to do the review, and then just do the quick study jam. Number 1, if a rectangular prism has a volume of 240 meters cubed and a height of 5 meters and a width of 6 meters, then what is its length? Number 2, draw one irregular triangle. Number 3, use a protractor to draw a reflex angle of 300 degrees. If you don't have your protractor at home, you can do this one quickly at school in the morning. Just figure out what it will look like. So pause the video here, do the review, and then come back. And last, today I'm going to get you to do a study jam on triangles, so you'll go to www.tinyurl.com/studyjamtriangles, and there's a karaoke song too, so it's kind of fun. That's it for today. See you tomorrow.